corner of walk, don't walk. Oh, you look away from me. Trying not to catch my eye, but you didn't turn fast enough, did ya? Oh, you don't like my raspy voice, do ya? Well, I got this raspy voice because I have to yell all the time because nobody around here ever listens to me. Oh, you don't like that I scratch so much? Yes. Excuse me, I scratch so much because my neurons are on fire. And if my eyes seem to be twirling around like fruit flies, the better to see you with, my dears. Look at me, you mammalian-brained lunkheads. I'm not just talking to myself. I'm talking to you, too. And to you, and you, and you, and you. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm crazy. You think I give a hoot? You people look at my shopping bags. Call me crazy for saving this junk. What should we call the ones who buy it, It's my belief we all at one time or another secretly ask ourselves the question, am I crazy? In my case, the answer came back. A resounding yes! A telltale sign of this is when you see life so clear sometimes you black out. And this is your typical visionary variety, who has flashes of insight, but can't get anyone to listen to them because their insight makes them sound so crazy. In my case, the symptoms are subtle, but unmistakable to the trained eye. For instance, here I am, standing at the corner of walk, don't walk, waiting for these aliens from outer space to show up. They're late, as usual. You'd think as much as they know about time travel, they could be on time once in a while, You wait around too long, you could go stark raving mad. But I don't ever want to sound negative about going crazy. I don't want to over-romanticize it either, but frankly, going crazy was the best thing ever happened to me. I don't say it's for everyone. Some people couldn't cope, but for me, it came at a time when nothing else seemed to be working. I got the kind of madness Socrates talked about. A divine release of the soul from the yoke of custom and convention! I refuse to be intimidated by reality anymore. After all, what is reality anyway, Nothing but a collective hunch. My space chums think reality was once a primitive method of crowd control. In my view, it's absurdity dressed up in a three-piece business suit. I've done some studies, and reality is the leading cause of stress amongst those in touch with it. I can take it in a small doses, but as a lifestyle, I found it too confining. It was just too needful. It expected me to be there for it all the time, and with all I have to do, I had to let something go. Now, since I put reality on a back burner, my days are jam-packed and fun-filled. Like Sundays. I go hang out around 7th Avenue. I love to do this old joke. I wait for some music-loving tourist to go up and ask someone, how do I get to Carnegie Hall? Then I run up and yell, practice! The expressions on people's faces, priceless. I never could have done stuff like that when I was in my right mind. I'd be worried people would think I was crazy. You see, the human mind is a lot like a piñata. When it breaks open, there's a lot of fun surprises inside. Once you get the piñata perspective, you see that losing your mind can be a peak experience. I wasn't always a bag lady, I used to be a creative consultant for big companies. Who do you think thought up the interior design of Howard Johnson's, at the time, unprecedented laugh tracks? I gave TV sitcoms the idea for canned laughter. I got the idea one day, I heard voices. No one was there. The only idea I'm proud of, my umbrella hat. Protects against sunstroke, rain, muggers. For some reason, muggers steer clear of people wearing umbrella hats. So it should come as no surprise that I am now creative consultant to these aliens from outer space. They're kinda a cosmic fact-finding committee. Amongst other projects, they've been searching all over for signs of intelligent life in the universe. It's a lot trickier than it sounds. We're collecting all kinds of data about life here on Earth. We're determined to figure out once and for all just what the hell it all means. I write the data down on these post-its and then we study it. Well, don't worry. Before I took the consulting job, I gave them my whole psychohistory. I must have gone off the deep end a while back. I woke up in the nut house. They were hooking me up. See, those shock treatments gave me new electrical circuitry. Frankly, I think one of the doctor's hands must have been wet. I started having these space-time continuum shifts, I guess you'd call it. Suddenly, it was like my central nervous system had a patio edition out back. Not only do I have a link up to extraterrestrial channels, but I also have a hookup with humanity as a whole. Animals and plants too. Oh, I used to talk to plants all the time. One day, they started talking back. They said, "Trudy, shut up!" It's like somebody's using my brain to dial switch through humanity. I pick up signals that seem to transmit snatches of people's lives. My umbrella hat works as a satellite dish. I hear this sizzling sound, like a white noise. Oh, then I know it's trance time. That's how I met my space chums. I was in one of my trances, watching a scene from someone else's life, and then all of a sudden, I sensed someone else was there, watching with me. Oh, there it is. Oh, I see this yellow-haired actress. I know her. I see her all the time making her movies.
I'm so glad you tuned in. I sometimes worry no one will watch, and without you there'd be little point in me being here. I think you should know I worry a lot. I worry that our cell phones are slowly killing us, and if they're safe, then I worry about how we constantly carry tracking devices, microphones, and data-collecting personalized billboards. I worry that our fixation on the man-made concept of national identity serves to highlight our few differences and drive us apart instead of focusing on our shared humanity. I worry that we are building walls and not welcome centers. I worry that morality and legality do not necessarily align. I worry that we stand at a crucial crossroads in the history of our species and of our planet, and that we are not taking the necessary action needed to ensure a future for us. I worry that our excessive consumption of artificial food, materialistic products, plastics that influence our lives for mere minutes but influence the ecological makeup of our planet for eternity, mind-numbing streams of constant media and air-filthying fuels will be the ruin of us. Nature is a delicate miracle of balance, and our egotistical monopolization of so much of its land, resources, and purity will catch up to us someday. Someday may not be long now. I worry that we will brutalize the earth and heavens to a point that the delicate balance will crumble. Crops will rot, the trees will wilt and die. Acid rain will pour down onto the asphalt. The seas will be lifeless, and their new melted ice volume will seize the coastal lands of the world. I worry that mutually assured destruction is just a temper tantrum and a button push away. I worry that the exponentially developing technologies of automation and artificial intelligence will surpass us sooner than we imagine, likely seizing our jobs, including even the roles of artist and politician, and perhaps even taking our lives. For we are programming the most elite robots to be environmentalists, and there can be no doubt that humans are a parasite, a mold on the tender surface of the planet. I worry that between the corruption of governments, puppeteering corporations, surveillance, distractions of frivolous modern entertainment, and devaluing of nature, we will lose touch with what it means to be human. I worry that Orwell and Huxley were right. I worry that I will forget the moments that make up my wonderfully complex life. I worry that when I am someday dead, I will not have left behind enough art for people to remember that I was ever here. I worry that you will judge me harshly. I worry where tonight fits into the cosmic scheme of things.
I worry there is no cosmic scheme to things.
I'll switch me out of this. I got enough worries of my own. I forget things. Never underestimate the power of the human mind to forget. Like the other day, I forgot where I put my house keys. Oh, I looked all over. Then, I remembered I don't have a house. I forget more important things, too. Like the meaning of life. I forget that. It'll come to me, though. Let's just hope when it does, I'll be in. My space chums say they're learning so much about us since they began to timeshare my trances. They said to me, "Trudy, the human mind is so strange." I said, "That's nothing compared to the human genitals." They find it hard to grasp some things that come easy to us because they simply don't have our frame of reference. I show them this can of Campbell's tomato soup. I say, "This is soup." Then I show them this picture of Andy Warhol's painting of a can of Campbell's tomato soup. I say, "This is art. This is soup. This is art." Then I shuffle the two behind my back. What's this? No, this is soup, and this is art. Oh, there's that sound again. Somewhere in suburbia, a housewife. Oh, hey, I've seen this woman before. She used to sell Tupperware.
About a month ago, I was shown some products designed to improve the sex lives of suburban housewives. I was so excited, I just had to come on public access and tell y'all about it. To me, the term sexual freedom meant freedom from having to have sex. Then, along came Good Vibrations, and I was surprised. As a love object, ooh, it surpasses my husband Harold by a country mile. But please, this is no threat to the family unit. Think of it as a kind of a hamburger helper for the boudoir. Can you afford one, you say? Can you afford not to have one, I say? Why, the time it saves alone makes it worth the price. I'd rank it up there with Ready Whip, Mini Rice, Pop-Tarts. Ladies, it simply takes the guesswork out of making love. But doesn't it kill romance, you say? And I say, what doesn't? But what about guilt, you say? And see, that thought did cross my mind. But at one time, I felt guilty using a cake mix instead of baking from scratch. I learned to live with that. I can learn to live with this.
Sounds me like you're doing this so soon after your surgery. Good for you. Still getting your sweat on. You've been on 4 job interviews today, Eileen. 1 more to go. I lost my job at the answering service because I would not lie for people who wanted me to say they were out when they weren't. These days, integrity is not a required skill. All my life I've wanted to be somebody, Eileen. I see now, I should have been more specific. It's not that I lack ambition. I am ambitious in the sense that I want to be more than I am now. But if I were truly ambitious, I think I'd already be more than I am now. Sobering thought, Eileen. What if at this very moment I'm living up to my full potential? Go for the burn! I've been trying to get into positive thinking in a really big way. Frankly, I think it's my only hope. I've been called a classic false hope case because not only do I not have a very firm grasp on reality, see, but I have a sort of loose grip on my fantasies too. I've been working on conquering my fears, Aline. It's not easy. Once at the Phobia Institute, this guy was telling about his friend who was terrified of driving on the freeway. But she conquered her fear and got so she thought nothing of driving on the freeway. And guess what? She died. In a freeway accident. That story has always stuck with me. Once, I've been wanting to tell someone this, Eileen. Once I came this close to ending it all. That's how down and low I felt. And I would have too. There was just one thing stopped me. Fear. I was just plain too afraid. So if I ever did commit suicide, I'd have to be so desperate I wouldn't even let fear stand in my way. And yet, if I could overcome a fear like that, I could overcome all my fears, I bet. And then, of course, and here's the irony. Probably if I weren't so afraid, I'd really want to live. Sometimes to make any move at all seems totally pointless. You know what else? To top it all off, I lost the note explaining myself should I have gone through with it. I hope it's at the bottom of a storm drain somewhere, because if anyone found it, they would think I was so pathetic. I hope I don't ever feel that low again. At the moment, I feel pretty up about the work I've been doing on myself. I used to be so sensitive. Sometimes I would just think of the Kennedy family and I would burst out into tears. I'm not so sensitive anymore. I don't burst out into tears as much as I used to, and I hardly ever think of the Kennedys anymore. Oh, my job interview. I better hurry. I could get lucky this time. Requires no skills. I'll just be hooking people up to biofeedback machines. At least I won't be lying to them.
Bodybuilding bit, Ted. Lately I've been thinking, what's the point a lot? Like, what's the point of being a health nut by day if you're a cokehead at night? What worries me, I'm getting burned out on both, even sports. Sure, I still watch the games, but I don't root so much anymore. Just watch. Hell, it was the rooting made it worthwhile. I miss the disco days, man. I feel about the disco days what hippies must feel about Woodstock. I blame a lot of what I'm going through on Penny. The whole divorce thing, sure, threw me for a loop. Took the wind out of my sails. You mind if I talk, Ted? I still can't get over it. Penny and I, we had a romance like something Lionel Richie might sing about. Then one day it just started to fall apart. I'm in the den, waiting for the game to start, and I see this magazine quiz Penny's been filling out. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate your man? As a dresser, a dancer, a conversationalist, a lover? She'd given me a 3 on everything. A 3! Okay, alright, I was no angel. One night Penny was pregnant. She wasn't feeling well. We just moved. There was a lot of tension, so I pop into this disco to decompress. I see this hot-looking chick, Marge. I'd seen her there before. Real knockout. So we do some coke. Seemed innocent enough at the time. She was coming on to me. In a moment of weakness, I go with her to her pad over her plant store. We smoke some wacko weed sugar herself with this lucky oriental lady lighter. She starts asking me all kinds of questions about my family background, my talents, my IQ. She loves it that I have these eyes like David Bowie. See? Look, Ted. One green and one blue. Turns Turns out she wants me to be a sperm donor to these two friends of hers who want to have a baby. So I'm in a weird mood. I say, hell, why not? Then she gives me this turkey baster. So I did it. Then of course, when I come down, I think of Penny. Pregnant and all. The guilt hits me like a karate chop. So I go home and tell Penny everything, because we made this promise that we wouldn't let lies start building up between us. It was a real mistake telling her. I should have just let the lies pile up. The one time in my life I make a conscious effort to be honest, and it blows up in my face. 2 weeks later, Penny has the baby. It's right there. The bonding thing happened with me and little Paul Jr. But then so did the divorce thing with Penny. She's remarried, moved to Alaska. Haven't seen little Polly since. Too long. Lately I've been thinking of that Marge chick and her friends. Thought occurs that maybe I've got this secret kid, but chances are I have, because I've probably got a sperm count like the national deficit. There was one time on TV I see this, genius. Child prodigy or something, playing the violin like he was possessed. I'm about to change the channel when suddenly it hits me. The kid looks like me when I was his age. I just about freak. I try to get a closer look at his eyes. I could swear one was green and one was blue. I even go call the station, but they said they weren't allowed to take messages like that. So anyway, the girl I'm with tells me I'm a nutto and shows me how much coke I'd done. So I guess I let my imagination run away with me, but I still think, what if? Once I obsessed to the point, I went back to the plant store and thinking, maybe I could talk Marge into telling me, do I have this secret kid or not? Well, they told me the store was, Marge is dead. Blew me away. She'd practically be the godmother of my kid. Feel almost sure, except for the genius part, that could have been my kid. I ask myself, what's he like? Is he happy? Does he have a proper male role model? Did the bonding thing happen?
You've all had the experience where you feel like someone's on your wavelength. Think about how I must feel. An elegant woman, rich type, jewelry, sits impatient at some beauty salon.
Unbelievable. The one day I need this place, they choose to be closed.
Lonnie? Lonnie?
Kate, darling.
It's been forever! I almost didn't recognize you with that, That's what comes of letting Bucci the arrogant do my hair, I suppose. I mean, what is this? I tell you, coming here today was so humiliating. And imagine my frustration upon finding the salon closed. I can imagine there were people in the streets actually staring at my haircut. People who would normally be intimidated. What on earth did you ask Bucci for? I said to him, please, Bucci, nothing too radical. Only by that time, this side was already too radical. That's why this side looks less radical. I'd like to say to him, as long as you insist on calling yourself an artist, then go to Palm Beach and do oil portraits. So true, darling. Lonnie, I was actually thinking of you just the other day when I read this article. It's all about how you can actually die from boredom. Yes, a slow, agonizing death. They've done studies. I'm going to have it Xeroxed and give you a copy. Now I know what's wrong with us all. It says, having everything can sometimes make you stop wanting anything. It's called rich people's burnout. I know the feeling all too well. It's so delightful to see ya. How have you been?
Haircut aside?
Oh, you know, Edward's been sleeping with his secretary, but that just absolves my guilt over going at it with the chiropractor. My hair's horrendous, isn't it?
But she did you dirty, darling. You fix it.
May? Surely other salons must be open. I haven't cut hair since my undergrad days. I trust you to amend this atrocity. And besides, what better way to catch up than to quite literally put the fate of my hair in your hands? I'm on my way to a big client meeting, but tonight I will right Bochi's wrong.
Another trance coming on? I see this scrawny punk kid with hair the color of Fruit Loops. Seems upset.
Hello, Charlotte. Look, it is vital I stay over at your house tonight. Don't ask me to explain. Well, you've got to make your mom let me stay over. Can't you force her to say yes? Look, my parents think you're a bad influence on me, too. Hey, you Speck! Can't you see I'm using this phone? Don't you touch that cage. Charlotte? Charlotte? Hello? Look, it is vital I talk to your radio shrink. Okay. Hello? My name is Agnes Angst. I'm 17 years old and my parents locked me out of the house today. I want to know if that is legal. Look, Doc, for years I've been coming home after school. Nobody would be there. I put my key in the door and let myself in. But today after school I come home. They changed the locks on me! Yeah, maybe it was something I did. I didn't say I was innocent, now did I? Everything I do is wrong anyway. Like the other night, my stepmom, she accuses me of leaving dirty fingerprints on the cheese. Even getting an innocent piece of cheese becomes a criminal act. But the problem goes deeper. My real mother's not around much right now. She's in Europe, Germany or someplace doing her art thing. She's a performance artist. Like me. There was this big custody beef, see, because my real mother's a lesbian, so the court gave me to my dad. He's a gene splicer, a bio-businessman at this research lab of misapplied science, where he's working on this new bioform he thinks he'll be able to patent. He doesn't get that I am the new bioform. I'm using this phone, you Speck! So today I go by my dad's lab to get some money for some gear for my act, and I see this, glob of bioplasm just quivering there in the petri dish. I don't know why I did it. Maybe it was sibling rivalry. But I leaned over, and I spit in it. And of course my dad has a mad scientist alert. He says I've ruined years of research, but the truth is he loves that bioform more than he loves me. I've got other family. My grandparents, but we have nothing in common except for the fact that we are all carbon-based life forms. A commercial? I can't believe you're brushing me off to sell some product that probably killed some poor lab rat. You've been about as helpful as an acid flashback. Hey, where's my bird? Conway Tweedy! That creep stole my bird!
people sits. Or they're watching TV. Or they're watching that lady who used to sell Tupperware.
As a love object, ooh, it surpasses my husband Harold by
Talking about vibrators that way. The things you see on TV these days. Kind of crazy world do we live in.
Lud, who was it said that quote about, oh, you know. Remember, Lud?
Did you hear what you just said, Marie?
I reckon so. I just said it. What?
About to say something somebody said. You couldn't think who it was said it or what it was they said.
And that never happens to you, I suppose.
Well, if I couldn't think who it was said something or what it was they said, I simply would not bring up the subject, Marie. I'd simply keep my mouth shut. Something I wish you'd do more often.
I used to tolerate that kind of talk because I told myself it was your hernia made you act so hateful. I have let you walk all over me.
You know what your problem is, Marie?
Yes. You.
You can't concentrate. You got a brain like a hummingbird, which makes you appear dense and at the same time flighty. You ever see a hummingbird try to pick out which flower to land on? Now imagine your brain in place of that bird, and you have a clue as to what I have to put up with. Some people have pea brains, and some people
Have the brains of a male chauvinist pig.
oink, 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 oink. Now who's being hateful? Shh. What was that sound just then? Sounded like someone's trying to get in the garage. Something's glowing out there. I've never seen anything like it. Granddaddy Speck! Let me in!
Yeah, sounds great. I'll see you soon. The downtown's more vibrant anyways. You can learn a lot from the tweakers there. Me? No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I suppose to the untrained eye I might appear that way, but I don't like to consider myself a tweaker. Alright, see you soon. Oh, good, you're up! These trances can be taxing, I know, especially when they come all rapid fire like that. It took me a long time to build up a tolerance to the strain of it all, but you're doing a great job documenting all this. Superb! I had to reschedule with my space chums. Big surprise. Come on, let's get a move on. This is soup and this art. Art. Soup. Soup. Art. I don't know what I'd do without my post-it notes. I got the facts right at my fingertips. Let me read you a few. Did you know the DNA RNA molecule can be found throughout space in many galaxies? Only everyone spells it different? You are what you think. Jeez, that's terrifying. In the entire universe, we are the only intelligent life forms thought to have a Miss Universe contest. Did you know What most distinguishes us humans from lower animals is our desire to take drugs. The aliens are pretty critical of us, but they said they had to admit we're way out front when it comes to stuff you can make with a blender. Looks like we're back with some familiar faces. Agnes, you better turn that music down. You better learn some manners, young lady, or else.
Or else what, Granddaddy Speck? Or else people aren't gonna like you, honey. You want to be liked, don't you? Everybody wants to be liked.
Not me, I'm different. I can't argue with that.
How come we got a daughter we don't understand too good, and a Kool-Aid haired punk granddaughter with no manners? Old man Sanders called me up. Says he saw something odd looking in the yard. Says it was downright eerie. Worried we might have poltergeists. I had to say, there wasn't no poltergeist. That was my granddaughter. She glows in the dark because her necklace is a reflective flea collar. How do you think that makes me feel?
Well, speak of the devil. Young lady, I demand to know where you're going at this time and not looking like that.
I'm going to a gig. Don't wait up.
I'm getting my act together, throwing it in your face. I want to insult every member of the human race. I'm Agnes Angst. I don't kiss ass. I don't say thanks. This will be a night of sharing for the sharing impaired. We're all soulmates after all, in the vast, cosmic dustbin of intergalactic space. The universe contains at least 100 billion galaxies. Each galaxy contains at least 100 billion stars. And we are microspecks on speck ship Earth. So the fact that my parents kicked me out of the house and someone stole my bird should mean very little in the grand scheme of things, but no! I'm quite upset about it. I look at my family, I feel like a detached retina. The last real conversation I had with my dad was between our t-shirts. His said, "Science is truth found out." Mine said, "The truth can be made up if you know how." On the radio, I heard the weatherman say, "The air today is unacceptable. People with breathing problems should not go out." I wanted to shout, "What's unacceptable is that the air is unacceptable." I think, wow, breathing is a biohazard. If we don't take in air every few minutes, we die. But the very air we are taking in is killing us. I rushed to my behavior modification center, hoping they can help me cut down on my habit of breathing. In the cubicle next to mine, I hear, "Do you want to stop smoking?" "No." "Do you want to stop drinking?" "No." "Do you want to stop overeating?" "No, I want to stop caring that I eat and drink and smoke too much." Concept! Start new behavior modification type religion where people go to learn to stop caring. I want to share with you something vital I read in a book I took from a trash can today. Will, by Gordon G. Liddy, master of the Watergate fever. I'm who, holding his hand over a lit candle, said, "Trick is not to mind it." I don't mind it when I came into this world Elvis was already fat. I don't mind it when I heard Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off a bat. I don't mind that I was born at the time of a crime known as Watergate and must have missed out on most things that made America great, but I don't mind it. I don't mind that no matter how much contempt I have for society, it's nothing compared to the contempt society has for me. I don't mind that there's no more avant-garde, but my mom took it pretty hard. I don't mind that I took my goldfish and put it in water from our faucet, and it died. Or drinking water caused it. The boy in school that I loved the most died last year of an overdose. But I don't mind it. I have set as my goal to get so strong I could peel onions all day long and never shed one tear. I want my skin to thicken so if I am panic-stricken when post-nuke day gets here, I won't even feel the fear as I watch me in the world disappear. Trick is not to mind it. If you're looking for peace, this is where you'll find it. Gordon Liddy showed me the way. For life is like that candle flame, and we are Gordon Liddy's hand hovering over it. It
hurts like hell. But the trick is not to mind it. I mind it!
Oh, hey, welcome back to this astral plane. Excuse me while I fluff up my space chums or do any minute. We're gonna settle some questions we got about evolution. They asked me, was man still looking for the missing link? I told them I thought man was the missing link. They're concerned with our evolvement because they say we're all connected. Seems like there's some kind of cosmic crazy glue connecting everything to everything. Here they come. Aren't they beautiful? You can't see them, can ya? They have to reveal themselves to you. Maybe you'll get a glimpse someday. I've been waiting for you guys. Don't worry, I won't hold it against you. You're not in the soup. Ah! This is soup, and this is art. Art, soup, soup, art! Uh-oh. Thunder. Quick, put up your umbrella hats and follow me. Hi, Tina. Hi, Brandy. Keep a sharp eye out. Buzz is buzzing in the nave tonight.
Tina! Tina, hurry! Hurry, Tina! He wants you too. Tape recorder. Another writer type. Everybody's doing an article on their life. Oh, you're lucky you got me. I got so many stories you won't have to interview no one else. Oh, you're the second guy this month decided to take up trade in this bizarre fashion. Last one was more normal. He ended up wanting my life history and the blowjob. But you're not interested in what's between my legs, huh? You just want my life story? I got news for you. What's between your legs is your life story. But me and Brandy, we're getting out of this genital jive. We got entrepreneurial plans, baby! Telephone sex, reach millions. Yeah, that's the wave of the future. No germs and no hand-to-hand combat. Because eventually, and it could be any day now, people are not going to want to take the chance to go out. Brandy. Brandy, look! It's that pitiful punk kid. Oh, she won't be no good at hooking all punked out like that. Every dude I've talked to says the whole punk thing makes him go limp. What does she call us, Tina? Is some kind of a spick? She's not in the life. Not yet, at least. We know about life. Well, you're writing about life. We're out here living it on a gut level basis. I could be a shrink. People tell me things. Forget it. Things they don't even tell to people they're close to. Especially to people they're close to, because, I don't know, they'd be embarrassed, maybe, I guess. But they tell me because I swear people don't want sex so much as they want somebody who will listen to them about, I don't know, the problems, you know? People don't realize that's the secret of our business. Yeah, the first thing you learn after fellatio is how to listen. One time a bunch of us was doing a stroll out by the waterfront. This guy shows up. Sensitive type. Soft. He just wants to talk. He talks to me not like I'm a prostitute. He talks to me like I'm his, I don't know, sister maybe. Fade out, fade in. Turns out he don't know what he's doing with his life. He's thinking maybe he'd do some hustling. Put himself through beauty school, which was an ambition he had. Only where would he get the money, right? He's asking me, could I give him some pointers on the life? You know, wise him up and all. Girl, you're too open with people. I'm not going to tell his real name, don't worry. So we're walking across the pier and this car pulls up. And this guy yells, "Hey, sweetie, could I get a ferry here?" I go up to the car, I come back. And the kid's standing there with this look on his face.
Like if you was to see, right before your very eyes, all at once, every sad movie ever made. This was the look he had. I said, Butchie, what's wrong? Tina, I said his name. He thought the guy was making fun of him. Making a crack, you know? A very... He was gay and it hurt him. Because inside he had a lot of unfinished business. I told him, the guy really wanted directions to the boat. There was no reason to feel so hurt. He starts telling me his whole life story. How he could never do nothing right. How his macho Yemen father once caught him wearing his mom's bathing suit. He describes the shame he felt. And I said, like the shame you felt just now? And he just nodded. And I said, the only thing to be ashamed of is being ashamed. Fade out, fade in. I end up sticking him to beauty school. The deal, in return, he pays me back when he can, which he did. And for interest, he has to do my hair free for the rest of my life. Feel. Isn't it soft and shiny? Don't be shy. Feel. I mean, beauty school. It's not like he was going to be a cardiologist, right? Fade out, fade in. He is now the top hairstylist in the city.
Brandy, we gotta go. We gotta meet that telephone guy.
Oh. Okay. Listen, Butchie's real name must not be used. Or mine, you swear? But when you're talking about me, I do want to know. Oh, I know. You can call me the girl with the exquisite hair. Then I'll know. Au revoir.
Brandy, you're too open with people. I held back if you noticed. I'm not selling the screenplay to my life for no $50. We could get a tape recorder. We can write as good as he can if what he's writing is what we're talking. We should have gotten co-credit or something. When that article comes out, it's gonna say written by him. We should at least say lived by Tina and Brandy. Come on.
Tina! I forgot to ask him what magazine he's writing for. Just our luck. We could get famous and not even know it. Fade in, fade out, baby.
Took you longer to recover that time. Must be getting tired from all this neuro travel, eh? Trying to keep your strength up. I got a big night planned for my space chums. Violin concert. All kids. Should be a peak experience. I must collate my notes. As per usual, we came out of our last meeting more confused than ever. Oh, they started asking me all kinds of deep questions about God, movies, addiction, megacorporations, you name it. They're off on official space business again, so let me read you some more of our findings. We think Pecking Man may be more advanced than we originally thought. Not only did we find bones and ashes which prove he cooked his meat, but we also found traces of what appears to be barbecue sauce. When a person dies of thirst, their eyes tear up. Here's a good one. As soon as humankind began to discover the truth about itself, we began to find ways to cover up that truth. But maybe that's for the best. Our ability to delude ourselves may be an important survival tool. We've done some studies. We're still working on when superficiality began showing up in human nature. Nothing in our studies gives us a clear picture as to the chain of events that must have taken place. We can only speculate. At one point, it seems like we were hunters and gatherers, and then all of a sudden we became partygoers. We speculated what it was like before we got language skills. When we humans had our first thought, most likely we didn't know what to think. It's hard to think when you haven't got words, because you haven't got a clue as to what you're thinking. So if you think we suffer from a lack of communication now, think of what it must have been like then when we lived in a verbal void. made worse by the fact that there were no words such as verbal void. I personally think we developed language because of our deep inner need to complain. Right after we started talking to each other, we began to talk behind each other's backs. When it dawned on everybody that not only could they talk, but they could be talked about, primitive man began showing signs of paranoia. With everyone so paranoid, war soon broke out. With war came stress, and the rest is history. My space chums are quite concerned about the stress factor we're so susceptible to. They worry about us. They worry even more than the actress making this film. They said to me, Trudy, beyond any bioforce we have ever encountered, human nature is the most thought-stirring, neuro-numbing, heart-boggling of them all. I think they're showing signs of stress too. I think they may be getting too emotionally involved with us. I think the bonding thing may be happening. Something they said the other day gave me a pang. Makes me wonder if they're thinking of leaving here. They said they wanted to pick up a few souvenirs. I'm still looking for something suitable. I hate to think of them going. But frankly, all this data leaves us with more questions than answers. Almost time for the concert. You know how I like to impress them with all the miraculous stuff we humans are capable of. Tonight we're gonna see a bunch of little kids play violin, and if that doesn't impress them, I'll eat my umbrella hat. Ooh, static white noise. Reception coming in strong. Looks like a yard sale. I do hope this doesn't make us late for the concert.
How could anyone accumulate this much junk? I'm looking for treasure. It's in that box. Anything worth my time? My journal! Oh, I've been looking everywhere for this. The Women's Strike for Equality March. I taped all the speeches, but nothing came out clear except Betty Friedan saying, "We today have learned the power of our sisterhood." And we did. I'm so glad we made the trip, even though at times I didn't think Edie's old VW was going to make it. We've been on a high since we got here. Giddy, in fact. But I can't wait to get back home. We're going to form a consciousness-raising group. I'll keep looking. I can't believe Henry Kissinger actually said power is the ultimate aphrodisiac.
The bombing in Vietnam shows what it takes for him to get it up. But guess what? I got a job at the Free Press doing my own feature. Boycotts of the month.
You're lucky you got a job at a place like that. Now you won't have to give up those camouflage fatigues you love so much. Honey, you couldn't be more anti-war, but without army surplus, you'd have nothing to wear. Lynn, I'm not exaggerating. Edie was in my plant store yesterday wearing those camouflage pants. I almost slaughtered her. I'm proud that I've never been slave to the tyranny of fashion trends like you, Marge. And who says we have to shave under our arms? Ta-da! Body hair. Edie, you're probably on some FBI list of the politically dangerous. Excuse me.
I'm looking for a gift that says, sorry your nose job was botched and left you with the worst nose than you started out with. Do you have anything like that around here?
Probably somewhere around here. I remember this night so vividly. I went to this Joplin concert, and this positively alluring woman came over, walking like she was sure of who she was, passing out candles. An artist from the women's building, Janet. The evening took a strange turn. Janet turned out to be a regular Don Juanita. She loves to make love. We began to see each other regularly after that first night. She's a multimedia performance artist, heavy into video documents. Her latest art piece, Life Imitates the Avant-Garde, earned her a paragraph in Chrysalis magazine. She's making a docu-diary of our relationship. She tapes everything, and now she's putting me in her performance art pieces. Last night she put white grease paint on my face, draped me in white silks, and had me sit on the shore. I said to her, Janet, no one, including me, knows what's going on. But she says that's the whole point. That my not knowing, and no one else knowing, was what it was all about. See, her theory is if no one knows what it's about, it might jolt us out of our normal mode of perceiving. I sat for 40 minutes under the silks, and then Janet's little girl, Agnes, came up carrying a candle, which, for reasons known only to Janet, was burning at both ends. My veil caught on fire. The evening ended in total chaos. Janet got the whole thing on video, including our breakup. I asked her to make me a copy of the tape. Will you take $10 for this? Sold? How much for this bag? The story behind that thing is just... I'm at the Transcendental Meditation Center, and I meet this really great looking guy. I liked him right off. He had a kind of a psychedelic air about him, like somebody who maybe in college one time had read the Tibetan Book of the Dead on acid. We spent the afternoon in a nearby field. Talking with him was such a high. He listens with an intensity most other people only have when talking. I knew he was getting me on so many levels. He could just look at me, and it was like I could feel all my chakras opening. I felt so totally comfortable talking about myself. I told him I have a master's in art history, but I realized too late it didn't exactly ensure my future. Out of high school, I'd gone to art school, but somewhere along the way I developed a creative block. And later I worked in a gallery where they sold all this terrible art. And I realized that some people, when they develop creative block, may be doing the world a favor. He laughed at that. When we got up to leave, the funniest thing happened. I looked down and realized I had picked up Bob's bag and he had picked up mine. We even had the same taste in shoulder bags. Next to you, Edie, he is the truest feminist I've ever met. I'll believe this Prince Charming when I see him. How come I never meet a guy like that? Probably because you go to the discos instead of the TM Center, Marge. You're right. Last guy I went to bed with, I woke up in the morning. I practically had the imprint of his Coke spoon on my chest. And that was some time ago. Ma'am, I spontaneously asked him to marry me one day, after a month of talking into the night about megavitamin therapy, solar energy, the ecosystem, and ending world hunger through tofu consciousness. I knew it was too fast, but at the time I really thought we were soulmates. I knew my store was the perfect place for your wedding. All these plants, the perfect metaphor for growth and nurturance.
Sorry your mom couldn't make it, but Janet's here and she'll record the whole thing and we'll send it to her.
Marge called and wanted to come over. She sounded so down. There's been an incident. I said yes. I told her we were finishing up the place and could use a plant or two. For Christ's sake, you don't need plants. You need Yosemite Park. Hi. Bob, make me a drink and make it a stiff one. Oh, come on, you two. Don't give me that look. I've discovered a great medical cure for sobriety. Alcoholism. Marge, it's so ironic. I mean, that a woman as nurturant as yourself could be so self-destructive. Marge was drinking more and more. Edie thought she was doing coke a lot and drank to take the edge off. Whatever it was, I was worried. I really have to get going. Bob, I'm home. Honey, I'm sorry to be late. I was at a violin recital for Edie and Pam's kid. He's stellar. Did I ever tell you how they came to have him? Artificial insemination with a turkey baster. Marge says it was surprisingly easy. Far out. Bob, what's wrong? Where are you going? My Aikido class. Your Aikido class? I didn't even know you were taking Aikido. When did you start? A while ago. You're not mad, are you? I'm fine. Edie, Marge called the other day. I can't stop worrying about her. I think she's taking pills now along with everything else. Listen, I really have to go pick up my son from ballet. Don't you want to know what happened to Marge? I would love to, but Marge is dead. She hanged herself. Found her hanging from her macrame planter. How? What do you mean, how? I guess she took the plant out and put her head in. If only I hadn't put off seeing her. I knew she was in pain. How could I have thought I was getting through to her when all I did was nag and criticize? When that didn't work, I just withdrew. Bob said I did all I could to help her, but I have to face the fact that that's not true. We had a memorial service at her store. Janet was there. I asked about Agnes. She said she'd lost custody. Agnes had been living with her father and his new wife, but had run away. The look on her face when she talked about Agnes. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Oh gosh. Is that the story behind this thing? I got distracted thinking about Marge, but the truth is it has to do with that sleazebag Bob.
Please tell me you were able to get her lighter.
Yeah, I got it before her bratty nephew could snatch it up. I swear I did. It's in here somewhere. Got Bob's bag again. It's been a great day, Bob. Thanks for asking.
Lynn, have you ever considered the path to...
Oh, by the way, here. I took your bag again today by mistake. I tore up the letter. How could I not have known you were involved with someone? Who is it? Some horny herbalist? Is it that checkout girl from Whole Foods? All those nights you were gone. I should have known you couldn't have had that many Aikido classes each week. Who is it? Huh? Who? Answer me, you pathetic little man.
My Aikido instructor.
Your Aikido instructor. I can imagine what she's like. If she knows Aikido, you're probably having this great tantric sex thing. Are you?
Lynn, listen. It was never about...
I'm sure she's more evolved than I am, isn't she? More centered. Isn't that their big thing? Centeredness. Oh, don't tell me.
Lynn, her tofu, it tastes like lasagna.
If only I'd been taking karate. I would love for these hands to be weapons.
Lynn, listen, it's not you. It's me.
Promise me you won't cry at what I've got to tell you, 'cause if you do, I will, and you know what an ugly sight that is. Pam and I are moving across the country. Ivan got that violin scholarship. We got Janet's loft while she's away on worldwide tour with that damn art piece of hers. Now she calls it a get well card from the avant-garde. I hear she plays the part under the veil herself. Ivan's really something with that violin. Who would have thought that turkey baster kid would be a prodigy? It'll be good for him to get somewhere new. You know how those bullies at school like to gang up on him, playing the violin the way he does. Got one green eye, one blue. Got two mommies and no daddy. But what about you? You're back in the work farce, huh? Importing ethnic clothing. Mostly from South America. And no, don't say it. I don't think we're exploiting cheap labor so much as I think we're giving work to people who would be out of work if we weren't. exploiting cheap labor. Oh, Edie, I know what you're thinking, but it's hard to be politically conscious and upwardly mobile at the same time. How naive. To think there was a time when we actually thought we could change the system. This is the bag that ended my marriage. Just take it.
Oh gosh. Are you sure?
Thank you. Life will cut you a break soon. Take care out there.
How much you want for this candle, lady?
Oh, sorry, this isn't for sale. I'm keeping this.
What a concert. Why is it when we hear certain music we get a lump in our throat? My space chums wonder how come we don't get a lump in our ear. They're impressed with our ability to get lumps in the throat. Apparently, we're unique in that respect. They asked if it felt anything like goosebumps. I said, "You'd never felt goosebumps either?" They said no. They asked me to explain goosebumps. Do they come from the heart? Do they come from the soul? Do they come from the brain? Or do they come from geese? This set us waxing philosophic. All this searching, all these trances, all this data, and all we really know is how little we know about what it all means. Of all the things we've learned, we still haven't learned where did this desire to want to know come from. No matter how much we know, there's more to knowing than we could ever know. We're thinking maybe the secrets about life we don't understand are the cosmic carrots in front of our noses that keep us going. So maybe we should stop trying to figure out the meaning of life. Sit back and enjoy the mystery of life. Next, they insisted I take them somewhere they could get goosebumps. They were dying to see what it was like. I decided we should take in a play. I got goosebumps that way once. Earlier on the way to the concert, we stopped to look at the stars. And as usual, I felt in awe. And then I felt even deeper in awe at this capacity we have to be in awe about something. And I felt so good. And my heart felt so full. I decided I would set time aside each day to do aerobics. Because at the moment you are most in awe about all there is in life you don't understand. You're closer to understanding it all than at any other time.
Oh, Lonnie, I've had the most extraordinary evening. Since I've seen you, so much has happened. I feel like a new person. This evening, first I saw this little boy play violin. Absolute genius. Before I forget, here's that article on board I had Xeroxed for you. That's not it. That's my suicide note. Well, not my suicide note. It's one I've been keeping because, well, I found it and I haven't been able to get rid of it because I found this suicide note. I don't know why I picked it up. It's my nature to step over things, but something compelled me. I thought it could be a sign. Lately, I seem to look for signs. The closer I get to menopause, the more metaphysical I become. I have no idea who it belonged to, but I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. I was saddened by what she said in the note, but I felt even worse when I realized that losing the note could only add to her feelings of low self-esteem. Ironically, there is, in this note, more feeling, more forgiveness, more capacity for life. Whatever this person is, or was, she was not jaded. And Lonnie, this experience has had such an effect on me. This evening after the concert, I saw these two prostitutes on the corner talking with this bag lady, and I actually stopped to watch them, even though it had begun to rain. And I remembered something, I think it was Kafka wrote, about having been filled with a sense of endless astonishment at simply seeing a group of people cheerfully assembled. I saw this young man go up, obviously from out of town, and he asked them, "How do I get to Carnegie Hall?" And the bag lady said, "Practice." We all caught each other's eyes. The prostitutes, the bag lady, the young man and I. We all burst out laughing. There we were, standing in the rain, laughing together. And then the bag lady did the dearest thing. She offered me her umbrella hat. She said I needed it more than she did because one side of my hair was beginning to shrink. And Lonnie, I did the strangest thing. I took it.
Oh, hey. You found me. Thanks for everything. The aliens had to, bounce. Really bounce, but, they left me this swell parting note. Dear Trudy, thanks for making our stay here so jam-packed and fun-filled. Sorry to abort our mission. It's not over, just temporarily scrapped. We've got orders to go to a higher biovibrational plane. Just wanted you to know, the neurochemical imprints of our cardiocortical experiences here on Earth will remain with us always. But what we take with us into space that we cherish the most is the goosebump experience. Did I tell you what happened at the play? We were at the back of the theater, standing there in the dark. All of a sudden, I feel one of them tug my sleeve, whispers, "Trudy, look!" I said, "Yeah! Goosebumps! You definitely got goosebumps! You really like the play that much?" They said it wasn't the play gave them goosebumps. It was the audience. I forgot to tell them to watch the play. They'd been watching the audience. To see a group of strangers sitting together in the dark, laughing and crying about the same things, that just knocked them out. They said, "Trudy, the play was soup, and the audience, art. So they're taking Goosebumps home with them. Goosebumps! Quite a souvenir." I like to think of them out there in the dark, watching us. Sometimes we'll do something and they'll laugh. Sometimes we'll do something and they'll cry. Maybe someday we'll do something so magnificent everyone in the universe will get goosebumps.